All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, it's when is today? Today's the 21st. Okay, 21st. All right. So this article was published yesterday. All right, and it says here ankle monitors, house arrest, and armed guards. COVID-19 enforcement measures ramp up even as lockdowns wind down. All right, and before I even go into the article, late the news as of late has been those troops in Portland, okay, who were grabbing up people and putting them in on unmarked vehicles. Okay, they weren't saying anything. Their faces were covered. All right, and then you had that couple that were put on basically house arrest, given ankle monitors because they refused to sign a certain order on for COVID after testing positive. All right, so you got this whole contact tracing thing, and you got all this going on, and what you're seeing is they're ushering in that draconian style lifestyle. All right, with those different laws and measures that they're putting into place all through this COVID, this pandemic. That's why that saying goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. All right, they're using this. They're gonna ride this out the best they can. Okay, to bring in all those policies that they've been wanting to bring in for a while. They just needed a good excuse. Okay, so it says a Kentucky couple have become the latest victims of heavy-handed pandemic enforcement, being outfitted with ankle monitors after refusing to sign a self-quarantine order on testing positive for COVID-19. They are far from alone. Now, when you read it, it says what? Self-quarantine in order, right? But when you hear the video, they said that what they wanted them to sign was that before you go anywhere, you have to call them and let them know where you're going. When you're leaving, where you're going, and they said they're not trying to do that. All right, they said they didn't refuse to self quarantine. They just didn't want to have to abide by that to where it's like they're being monitored. So in return, what they opened their door to a nice swarm of guards who are nicely, bringing them some nice ankle monitors. So it says Elizabeth and Isaiah Linscott were fitted with ankle monitors by Hardin County health authorities last week. Not to forget, there was that video that surfaced a couple weeks back about that couple, which had the basically the police, I think it was in Canada, so came into their house and forcefully removed them. You know, claimed that they were going to take them to the hospital and so on and so. They didn't have a choice. So it says, as governments take a more intrusive approach to controlling the coronavirus pandemic, the couple had refused to sign an isolation order, insisting their problem was not with the idea of self quarantine, but with the way the order was phrased. And that's good because you have to pay attention to the words. Esau, he plays on words. So if you don't read through whatever you're signing carefully, he'll pull out the fine print on you like, oh well, what this means is such and such and such. You say, well, when I read it, this is what it said. Well, what it said and what it means can be two different things. All right, Esau does that, man. So it says the pair were shackled with monitors less than a week after refusing to sign a pledge to seek approval from the Department of Public Health before traveling by any public, commercial, or healthcare conveyance such as an ambulance, bus, taxi, airplane, train, or boat. You see? So you basically had to get approved in order to travel or to move, and they said they were not with that. It says Elizabeth Lynch, and this is showing you what that that very soon, if they tell you something, it's not going to be any more suggestions and recommendations. It's going to be, well, this is highly recommended, meaning you either do it or we make you do it. They're showing you that those who refuse to abide by these people's quote unquote recommendations get put in very tough and tight positions. It says Elizabeth Linscott told local media on Sunday, while the isolation order also mandates daily check-ins and self-isolation, Linscott said the line about securing health department approval before leaving the home even in an ambulance, was the reason they declined the order. So what if an emergency happens and you gotta, well, right there. My part was that if I have to go to the emergency room, if I have to go to the hospital, I'm not going to wait to get the approval to go. She told local NBC affiliate Wave. You see? It says Lynn Scott tested positive for coronavirus on July 11th, having taken the test as a prerequisite for visiting her parents in Michigan, as she did not have any symptoms of the virus. When she refused to sign the form, she was told her case would be escalated. You see how Esau moves, man? It's either yes or yes. All right, by consent or by conquest. And this, look, man, this whole pandemic was a setup to bring in these, man. Look, man, that time is coming, man. Okay, when your life is already changed now, but it's still in the process of changing. Okay. It says days later, without further warning, over half a dozen people from different law enforcement and health agencies came to the couple's door brandishing three court orders, one for their daughter to submit to monitoring. While the Linscotts are the first reported recipients of an ankle monitor in Hardin County, the city in Louisville has threatened quarantine breakers with house arrest for months and had already ordered a handful of violators under house arrest for failing to self-quarantine. So you get tested, you fail to self-quarantine, we'll put you on house arrest. But notice how it's escalating. Okay, what happens when, yes, you're on house arrest, but they're still breaking that? Then they're gonna say, well, we need to put you in an area of isolation where we can monitor you and make sure that you're not breaking out. That's when they start to bring in them FEMA camps, you know, throw them in there. It says the couple plans to take Hardin County to court and lamented to local media that they felt like criminals. We didn't rob a store, we didn't steal something, we didn't hit and run, we didn't do anything wrong, Elizabeth said. Sterner approaches to enforcing coronavirus restrictions are sterner approaches to enforcing coronavirus restrictions are being felt across the U.S. and all around the world. Public health officials. Now, this is right now when the vaccine hasn't come out yet. So how much more heavier measures do you think they will take when the vaccine comes out? It says public health officials in Rockland County, New York slapped subpoenas on a group of young partygoers after they refused to cooperate with contact tracing efforts. The host of the party, who had gone ahead with the bash despite having COVID-19 symptoms, allegedly infected at least 8 guests. But when a few refused to share information about who else they had interacted with, the subpoenas arrived, accompanied with a threat of a $2,000 fine. Check this out. For every day they refuse to comply. You see how Esau works, man? He's literally gonna force, oh man. So hey, Revelation 13 and 16, it says he causeth all, you gonna feel the squeeze, man. That's why we're gonna need the Lord to step in. That's why the Lord said in Revelation 3 and 10, he will keep us from the hour of temptation, man. It says, according to Rockland County Executive Ed Day, that threat worked. Because you out of a job, majority of people are. Who the hell has the money to be paying for this every day? $2,000. Such tactics are by no means limited to the U.S. Melbourne, Australia deployed hundreds of police officers inside 9 public housing towers without so much as warning the inhabitants in a hard lockdown to keep residents inside their apartments earlier this month. Even those who tested negative were prohibited from stepping outside. Would you look at that? By force, you're gonna be kept in here. So hey man, what we've been telling you, second Esdras, all right, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's the second Esdras, the 15th chapter. Second Esdras, the 16th chapter. There shall be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. These prophecies are gonna pop out the page, man. They're gonna come to life on you. It says, with police assigned to deliver food and other needs to them, The measure was adopted after a few dozen people in the towers tested positive for the virus. So just because somebody tested positive in your resident area, all of a sudden, even if you negative, you can't leave. It says his building has been locked down for 1 week. He tested negative, and all he wants is his right to stand outside and breathe some fresh air. This is starting to remind me of The Handmaid's Tale. It's not about rescuing children. Wake up, people. Now let me play this.
Stand right there. You have to go back up. I'm going to stand right there. I'm going to stand right there.
Come on.
Unfortunately, can you guys not touch me? Am I touching you guys? Am I touching you guys? No.
You see this? Literally, he's literally in his lobby. He just wants to go outside and get some fresh air. They said, no, sir, we're not going to allow you. Wow.
Right, so because then you are touching
instruction. You listen to us?
No, I've been listening to the instructions for 7 days. I haven't gone outside for fresh air.
We're still giving you the same instructions.
No, you got to treat me like a fucking prisoner, man.
We are not.
Oh, really? So I can't walk out right there, just there.
You're
Just
not
there.
allowed outside. They're the
I'm
directions.
fucking negative.
Mask on.
I'm negative. What
I
are you
don't
gonna do?
care.
What are you gonna do?
What if it turns positive tomorrow and you've had contact? We're all being
Oh, so
safe.
you guys are trying to get me
Listen.
positive, right?
No,
That's why you guys want me to stay here with people that are positive.
We're all being safe.
How are you guys being safe? I'm with people that
You
are
will be
positive.
safe if you remain in your area, in your room, okay?
Go back up to your house, mate.
It is
Call
a direction.
DHS.
I've called them.
Call
Spoke to you
DHS.
guys. You guys every day you guys tell me the same
Put
shit.
your
One officer
mask
told me I cut
Over your
my
nose.
mouth.
Thank you. Thank you. It wasn't. Thank you. Much better.
Oh my god.
You're
Oh
not
my
alone.
god, man.
We all need to work together and
Well,
get through this,
you help me
okay?
here, because literally
We are
every
not
day. Okay, listen.
able to allow you to put your mask up your nose.
How is it that every day some girl gets to walk her dogs out every day?
How
Every
is
day.
it that you're coming
The
down
dogs have
here
more rights than I do.
and even arguing about this when you already know what the answer is, mate?
These people, man. Hey, you know what? Just arrest me and take me out of the building.
We're not going out, mate.
Just take me out of the building.
Outside.
Take me out of this fucking building.
Upstairs, come on. Dude, I appreciate you're in a hard situation. None of us have been in this situation and we don't know what you're going through, alright? I appreciate that. I just ask you to have a bit of patience with us, man.
I'm about to fucking lose it, guys.
I appreciate, look,
Yeah?
dude, I
This
suggest
shit
you
do my
call,
fucking head in.
call them, mate, have your number.
I can't even breathe. Fresh air, bro.
Put your mask on.
Fresh air.
Put your mask
I
on.
don't have no fucking corona, man. Yes. Fucking call me somebody. I want to get out of here. I want to at least go outside there. Yeah?
What's your name? What's your name?
What's the fuck? You got a mask on. So what am I going to give you?
Because you're still What's talking your name?
Oh
You're
my
straight.
God, man.
Mask on. What's your name? I'll get you some mental health assistance.
I need to go outside.
You see this, man? You see this? He can't even step out of his building. Literally by force, you gotta you gotta stay in your building, man. And you got people playing around. You got wait till they put this thing into full force, man. Wait till they put this thing into full force, man. A lot of you are gonna be scared, man. A lot of you, then you're gonna be cooped up in your house, searching up videos, searching up what do we do? How do we get out of this? What's going on? Oh my gosh, the government is really after us. Hey, man. Hey, look, man. The Most High is about to bring some serious hell upon this place, man. And this is just a fraction of the beginning. All right, as Yahushua said, the beginning of sorrows. The hard lockdown was criticized as transparent economic discrimination, given that the inhabitants of hotspots of similar intensity in the suburbs received advance notice of their lockdowns and were permitted to leave their homes for necessities. Some inhabitants of the housing towers claimed they received expired food or no food at all. So you're forced to stay in your house, and if they bring you food, it might be expired or you might not get food at all. And that's in your residence. What about when they actually start taking people to FEMA camps, man? They start coming into these buildings and they start rounding people up. That's a good excuse. Where the infected people, they're taking them to concentration camps. Or those who refuse to take the vaccines, they're saying, well, if you refuse to take the vaccine, you're a threat. So we need to isolate you until you decide you want to take the vaccine. Just like right now, they're telling them that we need to keep you in your house. Soon they're going to tell you, no. We can't keep you in this building because there are others in this building that you're putting at risk. So we need to take you where we take everybody else like you. It says, while the last Melbourne tower came out of a total lockdown over the weekend, over 100 people living there remain confined, either because they tested positive for coronavirus or have had contact with someone who did. So you're quarantined in this building with people who've tested positive, and let's say you step outside and then boom, somebody who's tested positive is in the hallway. All of a sudden now it's over for you. So they keep you in there until, let's say, you come in contact, and then next thing you know, you're positive. So now you got to now quarantine again. Attempts to use security forces as lockdown enforcers initially failed in Australia, where quarantine hotels for returning citizens in Victoria, patrolled by private security, soon became pandemic hotspots due to mismanagement. All right, and like it says, man, this is only a fraction, man. Okay, ankle monitors, house arrest, armed guards, man. Hey, this is the prophetic Babylon. All right, this is the prophetic, really the prophetic end of the world. All right, all right. Now let me get this. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." And who's in authority right now? Job 9:24. The wicked. Malachi 1:3. The wicked is who? Esau, Edom. And people are mourning. They're not happy. Okay, but as it tells you in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. They're going to come down with great wrath, man. Okay? They're going to come down with great wrath. Hey, Proverbs 29:10. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. And they're bloodthirsty, man. And hey, so you got these unidentified, as they call them, troops patrolling the streets, which Trump is saying he's going to send out more to different areas. And then you got all these different ankle monitors and all these measures going on. And this is pre-vaccine. So what you think a post-vaccine world is going to look like? Hey, they're moving quick, man. All praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai for that, man. We're in the time of prophecy. All right? So anyway, with that, I'm ended off here. Lord willing, this was edifying and informative to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Until next time, Shalom.